All right, so now into the nitty gritty.
Young Dizzle.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Jimmy P. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the literally most asked questions y'all asked me since I moved to Atlanta, and it's been almost 3 years now and still the same questions. So I'm gonna make sure I get all of those questions answered in this video, okay? Before we get into this video, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button right down below. Go ahead and hit it. I'm gonna wait. Oh, you did? Oh, my girl, my bad. Also, go follow me on all my social media at JIMIP_. We are so lit on Instagram and Twitter at this point. If you don't know, now you know. Get with it, get lost, period. I have my handy dandy book that I feel like all y'all have probably seen already, because I literally write everything in this book. I'm a Virgo. All I do is plan stuff, and all I do is write stuff down. I write down notes and just lists and everything. Everything needs to be organized so that when shit go wrong, I can be like, I knew that was gonna happen. I got a solution. Boom, period. My first request that I'm gonna ask for y'all, make sure you have a book, a notepad, something. Pause this video right now. Go get a piece of paper, get your phone out, write your notes down, whatever you need to do, because it's a lot and I need y'all to take it down one by one so that we do not miss anything. So step number one of planning your move to Atlanta. So first of all, make sure this is where you want to be. There is so many, well, not so many, but there are a lot of people that thought that Atlanta was for them and they ended up going back home or going back to wherever they were from. So you need to ask yourself, why are you moving here? Like, really sit here and ask yourself, why are you moving here? If you are moving to Atlanta to become a black actor or an actress, why don't you move to Hollywood and become an actor or an actress? Not questioning why you want to move to Atlanta. I think everybody should move to Atlanta, but literally question yourself just to make sure that this is where you want to move. Before I even thought of Atlanta, I had 3 options: California, Atlanta, or New York. And I was like, okay, these are the places I want to move. And I was like, I took trips to New York, back and forth to New York. And in California, when I really started doing my research, I was like, damn, like, this is not actually where I want to be. Like, I can't afford it, and it's just not what I wanted. Let's just leave it at that. In New York was way too close to home. It was only 3 hours away from from Baltimore, and I wanted to be away from home. Like, you know what I mean? So Atlanta was that middle ground. Like, I wanted black people, and I wanted to be away from home, and I wanted like the club and media and rich niggas, and like, you know, I just wanted that, you know, that 20-year-old lifestyle of just doing the damn thing. And then I came here multiple times. I came here for my 19th birthday. I came here when I was 21. I came here like 3 or 4 times before I actually moved here. You know, make sure you visit. Make sure this is the place for you, because I would hate for somebody to spend all this money to move down here and all this time to move down here, and you get down here and you find out, oh shit, this is not where I want to be. So many people come to me and say I make Atlanta look so lit, they can't wait to move here. I want y'all to understand, don't move here because of me. Don't move here because of my vlogs, because I make it look lit. I really want y'all to be like, okay, I love Atlanta. Like, when I come to Atlanta, even when I go home for like a week, and I be like, oh my God, I miss Atlanta so much. And then I come home to Atlanta and I'm like, oh, I'm back. Like, that is the effect that Atlanta has on me. I love Atlanta. So you need to be able to love Atlanta as much as I love Atlanta, not just loving the lit ass vlogs that I show y'all, because I don't show y'all all the horrible stuff that happens, but we ain't gonna get into that. But just make sure that you are making the right decision about why you want to move to Atlanta. Number 2, which I feel like is a really strong one, make sure you are mentally ready to move to Atlanta. And this just ties into number 1. Don't, like, people come here and they have a lot of baggage left back home, like friends, ex-boyfriends, their parents. Like, you know, make sure you are mentally ready to be away from your parents. If you have never lived anywhere else but with your parents, make sure you're mentally ready to be on your own for me, in my case, 7,000 miles away from your parents, make sure you are ready mentally to be away from everybody that you love, that you ever known, the street that you grew up on for 15 years of your life, or whatever the case may be. Make sure you're ready to leave that, okay? Me, I moved out when I was 17. So when I moved to Atlanta, that was nothing new to me, because I've always lived by myself. But being away from my mom, that took a really, really, really big toll on me, because that's my girl. I'm so used to her being able to come and see me and me see her. And so not being able to see her, which now it's been almost a year and like 2 months since I've seen her, you know, it can take a toll on you. It really can. Like, I've broken down crying sometimes, like, oh my God, like I miss my mom, I miss home, I miss my friends' home, like, oh my God, like my brothers, like, it's just, it really can take a toll on you. So I need y'all to be mentally ready to be alone, especially if you don't know anyone here. I knew one person when I moved here. You need to be mentally ready when you come here that you are going to be alone. You can't just go around the corner to your mom's house. You can't drive 5 minutes away to your mom's house. You're very, very far away from home. So make sure you're mentally prepared for that. I think I was about to cry. Jot that down, put a star next to a highlight, whatever you want to do. Close out old chapters to start new chapters. When you move to Atlanta, you are starting a whole new life. All right, so now into the nitty gritty. You need to figure out what time frame you want to move, okay? So when I say time frame, I'm meaning like, if you want to come here for the lituation, like if you want the parties and Luda Day weekend and Huncho Day and all the day parties and everything that happens, you know, BET awards, like everything that happens in the summertime-ish time. So I would say like April to September. If you want to be here for that, you know, birthday bash, little baby concerts, whatever, you need to make sure that you move before April. Like, so after September, from September till you got from September up until April to move here so you can get ready for the summertime festivities. Also, I graduated May 24th. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna graduate, let that settle in, say my goodbyes, and then move middle of June. So like, I literally set it up to like make sure that like I had a time frame of exactly when I wanted to move. Also think about the, you know, when you move in the summertime, just remember it's gonna be hot. So when you're moving that big ass bed frame, it's gonna be hot as fuck. Also think about the winter time. It's gonna be very cold. Your fingers gonna feel like they're falling off when you're trying to move your fucking bed frame into your damn house. So just think about literally the time frame and, you know, when do I want to move? What is that set date that I have in mind that I want to move? Mine was June 1st. I didn't end up moving until June 15th, but it was fine. It actually wasn't fine. I missed birthday bash because of that, but it's okay. Also think about when apartments will have better deals and stuff. If you move, say you want to move in like September. September isn't really a hot time to move in Atlanta because people don't normally move during that time, so there aren't many apartments available compared to when people are moving out. Like people are moving out around January, February, March, April, May-ish. Like that's when people, in June as well. So like January to June is when people are really moving out. And so there'll be a lot more apartments available. Like you don't want to keep calling apartments and, oh, we don't have anything available into such and such. We don't have anything available into such and such. And then you're like, well, damn, I want to move in October, but they don't have anything available in October. The next thing they have available is fucking January. So just be mindful of that as well. Another tip that I want to give out, January, February, March-ish. Those times have really, really good deals as far as moving times because it's tax season. They offer deals like, oh, first month's rent free, and then they do price drops. Like they just want to get people moved in. So think about that too, when it's good times to move. Tax season, so January, February, March are really good times to think about moving because price drops and everything. Another thing that I mentioned in my other video, if you move in during the middle of the month. So I wanted to move in June 1st, but I wasn't able to. So I moved in June 15th. June 15th is literally the middle of the month. So my rent was cut in half. So I didn't have to pay the full, I think it was like $830. I didn't have to pay the full $830. I think I paid like $5 or something like that because I moved in the middle of the month. That works out in your favor because your moving cost is cheaper, but also remember, rent is due in 15 days. So you know what I mean? So you have less time to get the money for next month's rent. But we ain't gonna get into rent yet, but just be mindful of that as well. Also think about other things, like when your current lease is up. Like, you know, if your lease is up in June, you know, make sure that you are ready to move, you know, by July type of thing. Also think about if you have kids or if you are in school, think about when the school year starts for kids or when the school year starts for you if you're moving here as like a college student or whatever. Think about like when the school semester starts and all of that good stuff, when you like the time you need to get your child enrolled in school. Think about stuff like that as well. So say school starts in August, you don't want to move here in August because now you rushing trying to get your kid enrolled in school when you could have moved here, let's say June, and you would have had a couple months to get your child enrolled into school. Now that we are past that, we're on to number 3. So that is the best part that y'all all love, and that is the apartment hunting part. Now I'm not going to speak too much on the apartment hunting because I have way too many videos on this freaking channel about apartment hunting, and if you don't know, I'll list them in the description box down below or on the screen somewhere for y'all to all go look at. But I will go over it briefly so y'all can get the gist of what, like the steps I took or the steps you should take to apartment hunt. So when it comes to Atlanta is humongous, and I'm not even gonna say Atlanta, I'm gonna say Georgia. I'm gonna say the close surrounding cities of Atlanta and like Georgia as a whole. So you have like Decatur, you have like the West End, you have like Bankhead, you have well, that was considered Atlanta, but you have Marietta, you have Sandy Springs, you have Cumberland, you have Fayetteville, you have Jonesboro. I don't know places on the west side because I don't go on that side, but I know the west side has a lot of places too. You know, you need to, when I tell y'all it's so many apartments in Atlanta, it's too many. I live on the street right now and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 apartments on this same street. 5. And that's just one street. Like, listen y'all, it's way too many apartments in Atlanta. So I recommend you doing a year's research of apartments. Like, you need to be on it, like literally looking at thousands and thousands of apartments, okay? Like, cause you will find your match. I hate when people be like, you gotta settle, da 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 da. You don't have to settle. There's so many apartments here. Some things you may have to settle for, like, you know, but most of the time it's so many apartments in Atlanta. If you just take your time and do your research, you can find that perfect apartment for you. What is your ideal apartment? Literally go through your head, like, okay, I want a pool, I want a gate, I want security, I want to be 10 minutes from the city, I want to be 10 minutes from a park, I want my kids to be 5 minutes from school, I want a dog park, I want restaurants near me, you know, just stuff like that. Like I want like upgraded amenities, I want upgraded appliances, I need a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, I want high ceilings, I want floor-to-floor windows, I want ceiling fans, literally every little thing, carpet, hardwood, all of that. Like, I need y'all to really map out, take your book and write down everything you want in an apartment, okay? Write down everything you want in an apartment so that when you start to do your research, you can really start, okay, do I need that? Let me check that off. I don't need that. I can sacrifice that. Let's see this. Boom, boom, boom. And you go through the apartments and you see what apartments have, what you have, and that's when you start to think, like, okay, do I gotta sacrifice this for this? Is this really important? Make a list of unrealistic and realistic wants and needs that you want in an apartment. I wanted floor to ceiling windows when I first moved here, and I realized that your girl is no. What the fuck did I think I was? Not there yet. So I had to cut that out, but I wasn't going to compromise big windows and a patio. Like, that's what I wanted. So that's why I was so unhappy in my old apartment, because I thought I was getting a balcony, but I wasn't. But anyway, besides the point, I got one now. A realistic thing that I wanted for sure was a gate. I needed a gate. I wanted a gate, period. I'm not from here. I can't just call my brothers and be like, hey, somebody is trying to kill me, come and help me. So I wanted a gate so that I could feel secure. So that was a realistic thing for me. And just a heads up, almost every apartment in Atlanta has gates. So like write out a list of all of your unrealistic and realistic needs and go from there and see what is compromisable. Is that a word? Compromisable? Another thing that I would recommend when it comes to apartment hunting, call the leasing office. The last thing you want is to be beefing with your leasing office. The last thing you want is to not like the people in your leasing office, because when you want to get something done, you want to be able to call them. You want to make sure that they are there to help you in a timely manner. So I always recommend calling the leasing office, seeing how the staff is, seeing how responsive they are, seeing how approachable they are. Are they nice? Are they do they have the answers ready for you when you need them? Is the property manager around when you need them? You know, just stuff like that, because you don't want to be so far away from home and then you get here and your freaking toilet breaks and you trying to call them and they're not answering, and it's just stressing you out because you don't know what to do when you are by yourself. You don't want that. So just make sure you are ready for that. If you are a first-time apartment renter or whatever, like it's your first apartment and you're moving out of state, I'm gonna put a video up here and down in the description box for y'all to go look at first-time apartment tips and tricks or whatever, just to help y'all out during this time, because your girl done been in like 7 different apartments, so I should know at this point. Also set a goal. So for me, as I said, I wanted floor to ceiling windows, I wanted a view, a balcony, and you know, all of that. And I realized once that was an unrealistic goal, I said to myself, okay, well, I'm gonna set a goal. I'm gonna be at this apartment for this amount, for X amount of time, and I'm gonna set a goal to make sure that within X amount of time, I'm gonna get that perfect apartment that I want. So my goal is still to, like, my goal when I moved here was just to move here. When I got here, my goal was to move in the city. Now that I'm in the city, my next goal is to get that high rise that I want. So set goals when it comes to your apartments as well, if you aren't able to get that perfect apartment that you want when you first move here. I think I did a full year of just searching apartments, you know, every other week or whatever, and then I finally started narrowing it down, like when it came down to like the last 3 months, and I think that was way too short for me. Like I definitely should have took at least 6 months of like narrowing down apartments and coming down here every other month to look at the apartments, and I just didn't do that. You definitely gonna have to come down here a lot. You need to see these apartments in person. You need to see the area, like, and all that. I'm not gonna get into the details of like looking up apartments and stuff and all of that, because again, first time tips of moving, that explains everything about how I made sure that how I feel like a person should make sure the apartment is for them. So, you know, just checking the area out and making sure that's where you want to be at. You need to make sure that you know the areas as well. I also have another video about places to live in Atlanta, so I break down the different areas of Atlanta. A lot of people will disagree with me. You'll see in the comments people will disagree with me, but again, this is my channel and I'm going to say my opinion. If you don't like it, well, I don't give a fuck. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. I don't care. So in my opinion, the north side is good for kids. If you have kids, the north side is great because it has a great school district. That's what I've learned, okay? The south side and the east side are the most affordable places you can move. I heard the east side is a little bit more dangerous. The south side, I mean, when I first moved to the south side, it wasn't bad. It got bad towards the end when somebody tried to kick my door in. But other than that, like, I never really experienced any like shootings, car break-ins, or none of that, but somebody did try to kick my door in. So I mean, I guess that's fucking worse than anything else. They are more risque, but you know, being a girl like me, I'm from the project, so a lot of things don't scare me. So you also need to reevaluate yourself and think like, okay, can I live in a rougher area, or do I need to be okay? Because, you know, just know yourself. Be honest with yourself. The west side, I don't know the west side. Like, a lot of people send me apartments on the west side. I send them to my friends, like, that lived here for a long time or are from here, because I don't know the west side. I don't. But the stories I've heard about the west side is very gangster. Very gangster. So, to each his own. I don't know. they are upgrading the west side and gentrifying it, or whatever the word is. So I don't know, child. If you have an apartment that you want to see that's on the west side, send it to me and I'll let y'all know if it's a good apartment or not. Also, just do your research for as far as how far away the apartment is to like the city, how far away it is to restaurants, Target, Walmart, Kroger, Publix, shopping centers, McDonald's, where you take to get your dog's haircut, schools, like parks and shit. Like, you need to see how far away it is from everything. These are the time frames that I need y'all to search, okay? Because this is the problem that I had too. I would search, because I would be up, like, because I would be in college and I would be up writing essays, and it would be stressing me out. So I would take a break and I'll start apartment hunting, and I'll be looking at apartment distances from like the apartment to the city at like 2 in the morning. And it'll be like, oh, that's 15 minutes away. And I'll be like, oh shit, that's close to the city, okay? Bitch, you need to look at the times of how the distance of how far it is at 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., and 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Those are the rush hour times. And honestly, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. is just in the hole. Just keep searching during that time, because traffic is horrible. So when you search it at 2 a.m., of course it's gonna say 15 minutes. But when you search it during rush hour, when people are actually outside, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., that shit is like 45 minutes away from the city. So now on to jobs. So I'm going in steps. This is how I feel like y'all should go, okay? So next would be jobs. So once you found like that perfect apartment, that perfect area, then you start searching the area for jobs and stuff. Now this only counts if you don't have a job lined up already. If you are just like here type shit and you like, okay, I need to find a job now, you start searching that area for jobs and stuff. So say you live in Cumberland. Cumberland is the area where all of like the office jobs are at, and UPS and like FedEx and like just big like companies are, what the fuck? Big companies are in that Cumberland area. So if you live in Cumberland, search the area, see what jobs is there. Southside has a lot of call centers as well, and temp agencies too. Search the area for like, the jobs there, and then start applying for jobs like that, okay? I started looking for jobs and I started applying for jobs, right? And then I found my apartment, and when I got here, my freaking job, technically my job, because I didn't get the job, if you know, you know, my job was 35 to 45 minutes away from my house. And coming back home, it took me 1 hour and 55 minutes to get back home. So that's why, the only reason why I'm saying I would say find an apartment first and then find a job. But if you want to find your job first and then look around, for apartments in that area, it's totally up to y'all. I personally just was looking for any kind of job, for real. So I knew what area I wanted to be in and what price I wanted to be in. Because let's say, for instance, you want a job and the job is in Cumberland, right? Cumberland is a little bit more expensive than the South Side, like a lot bit expensive than the South Side. So say you find a job in Cumberland, but you can't afford Cumberland's rent. So now you have to go to the South Side and live, and now you commuting back and forth, compared to if you would have just found a job on the South Side until you built your money up for you to move to Cumberland and get that job in Cumberland. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so now on to the big part, budget. A lot of people ask me this question too. I'm not good at budgeting. I'm not gonna say I'm not good at budgeting, but I didn't really budget when I moved here. Like, I saved up the rest of my refund check, which was like $1,500, and I was like, okay, I'm moving with this, and that was like the stupidest thing I could have ever did. But now that I made that mistake, I feel like I can give y'all a little bit of advice on budgeting. Y'all have been asking me this since I moved here, and I just didn't feel comfortable giving y'all advice on it because I didn't fucking know. I didn't know, y'all. But now I know, so let's talk about it, okay? So PSA, if you are like me, when I want something, I get it, period. I make a way to get it. I make my budget last, because if I want that nice apartment with updated amenities and a balcony and security and a gate, I'm gonna make sure I find a way to make that money to get what I want. Which is like right now, like why I'm, I've been able to move into the city, which is why I'm, gonna try my best to get that high rise, because I make my budget based off of what I want. But if you're not like me and you're more so of a budget person and you want to start with what you know you can do and go based off of that, then take this budget part and put that first. Start with your budget and then go down. So put budget above apartment hunt. But if you're like me, then I feel like budget comes last. After I figure out what I want and I write down everything I want, I write down the jobs that I found, I write down, like everything. Then I start to write down, okay, rent is $1,100. My dog needs a haircut every month. That's $50. Cable and Wi-Fi is $150. I do that and I add up those numbers and I be like, okay, so in total my monthly amount of my bills will be X amount. So I need to make this amount of money in order to pay everything and still live comfortably. How much do you need to move to Atlanta? Okay, listen. I hate saying a set number of what you need to move to Atlanta because it all depends on you. So this is from a hustler standpoint. If you are a hustler, if you know you can come down here and make some shake, and I want y'all to be very completely honest with yourself, because I felt like I was a hustler and I realized coming down here I'm not as much as a hustler as I thought I was. So I had to be honest with myself, like, damn, I'm not really that much of a hustler. But if you are a hustler and you know how to finesse, okay, and you know how to, you ain't afraid to get on that pole, or, you know what I'm saying, then you gonna make something shake, then I would recommend, I'm not saying this is the hard cold, set in stone truth, so stay out my comments. I would say save up to 1 to 2 months worth of rent, and that's not including moving in fees and everything and I'm gonna get into that in a second, but just know 1 to 2 months rent. Make sure that you know you are a hustler, baby. Know yourself, find yourself before you move to Atlanta, because Atlanta will find you, okay? But if you are not a hustler, I would say save up to at least 3 or 4 months worth of rent. I only had 1 month's worth of rent, y'all, and I struggled for 2 months. It was very, very hard. Y'all always ask me how long should I save or how much should I save? That's the, I don't know how long you should save, but I feel like, if you start with a lump sum, you can do like 6 months worth of saving. But if you're starting from zero, I would literally say take a year and just keep saving. And again, go based off of how much the apartment is, which is how you will know what your budget is. So just a list of things that you are going to need to pay for when you move here. So get your notepad ready and write this shit down. You're going to need security deposit. So your rent, think about that, your rent, okay? Your rent, first month's rent, plus the security deposit. It will depend on you. Georgia Power or whatever power, electric, whatever you get. My deposit was $150 for my Georgia Power to get it cut on. You cannot move in until you get your Georgia Power cut on. Water bill, if it's not already included, which most of the time it is. Cable and Wi-Fi, if you would like that. It's not necessary, but that's something you do want to factor in if you want it. Renter's insurance, if your apartment requires it. My apartment did, the first one, so just make sure you are aware of that as well. You will need that before you move into your apartment. They will not let you move in until you get your renter's insurance. Georgia tags and license, after 60 days, and you say you get pulled over, knock on wood, you get pulled over, and you say you live here, they're going to want to see a Georgia license and Georgia plates, so you need to factor in that as well. I'm not going to be the one calling the kettle black, the pot calling the kettle black, because I ain't going to cap to you. I've been here for almost 3 years and I still ain't got Georgia tags nor license, but I ain't here no there. Don't follow me. Gas, lots of highway mileage, let alone you driving to interviews and going out to eat and networking and stuff. Driving the rental truck here or driving your car here to Atlanta from where you're from, you're gonna have to stop for gas multiple times. So just factor gas into that as well. I think I paid $150 for gas coming here, and I think the truck took like $100 to $200 as well. The moving truck, it all depends on what moving truck company you went with. I don't remember what truck company I went with. I'll probably put it in the description box down below, but it can average from $300 to $1,500. You have to do your research. Call every single truck company you can think of. The application fee and the admin fee. Application fees can be literally up to $150. It could be as cheap as $75, but normally they're about like $100. Admin fees can be anywhere from $50 to like $150. Same thing. It all depends on the apartment. And these are questions that you want to ask when you are moving into your apartment. Again, go watch that tips on first time movers so you can get all of that situated as well. Parking. Some apartments charge for parking that is not included in the rent. Make sure you ask those questions. Make sure you factor that in as well. And a pet fee, if applicable. If you have a pet, you know, factor that in as well. Again, don't be like me, because bitch, I ain't never told nobody I had a dog, and I'm never gonna tell nobody because I'm not paying shit for that little nigga to be here, period. So add those numbers up, and then boom, you get how much you need to save. That's your budget. Easy. I have a whole website dedicated to Atlanta, which is apartments and food places, clubs, and jobs. So make sure y'all go check that out, because I'll update that frequently for everybody to go look at and make it a lot easier for y'all to like maneuver through Atlanta and find things that you need to be finding, basically. It's really hard to find jobs and stuff here in Atlanta, especially when you first move here, especially when you don't know anybody. So I hope I'm that person that makes it a little bit easier for y'all. Make sure you check out temp agencies. I always recommend people to do that because it's the easiest way to get a job. Also, somebody said in my comments, like, why would you settle? Why not just wait and move? Listen, if you're like me, when I want something, I'm gonna go get it, period. So when I came here, I was very like, no, I don't want to work here because I got a degree and Girl, when you behind on your rent, you'll take anything. So again, sometimes you may have to settle. If you move here your first month and you haven't had any luck finding a job, Target is always hiring, Amazon is always hiring, UPS is always hiring. You can be a server, temp agencies, job fairs. Look into anything. Do not be so prideful when you move here and think that you can't work at Target. Any money is good money, like for real. The worst thing you want to do is be put out on your feet when you are away from home. For me, I'm 7,000 miles away from home. I would have hated to have been put out with nothing, with me and my dog and all my shit, and I can't even get back home. You know what I mean? So don't be prideful. Get what you can get until you can get what you really deserve. And also, I have a whole video about how to find a job in Atlanta as well. I'll link that down below and up on the screen, so make sure y'all go check that out as well. A lot of y'all always ask me about this as well. When it comes to Atlanta, when you meet new people, before you move here, you need to figure out your network before you move here. Search people that are in the same job field as you. Search people that you know, are like you, that you find interesting. Search events that is in the same job field as you. If you want to work at, let's say, Amazon, and you know there's a local bar near Amazon, find that local bar near Amazon, and when you move here, go to that local bar. You know, sometimes you gotta be a little stalker or whatever. Go to this local bar, start talking to people, ask people where they work at, and then they be like, Amazon. It's like, oh, I always wanted to work at Amazon. Oh girl, I got you. Like, you know, apply, boom, take my number down, and boom, you have a job. Like, you need to like build your network before you even come here, so that when you get here, it's a lot easier. I want to have an event where I bring all of y'all together, and I know so many people in so many different fields and networks, and I want to have an event to bring all y'all together and like just meet one another and network and build with one another, and make it a lot easier for people that are new in Atlanta to meet new people and grow together. So hopefully I'll be having that sometime in the summer, whenever this coronavirus shit hit the dough. Okay, that is in this video. I hope y'all learned a lot. That was a mouthful. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments, and I hope I covered everything. Thank y'all for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next one.